we're very lucky to be able to still be doing it, and we've still got a brilliant fan base who want to keep supporting the music and the band and keep us going, because we can't do it without the fans.
Yeah.
So it's a wonderful feeling. So
you've always been like that, though, haven't you, Bob? Really?
I guess so. Yeah. I guess so. Yeah. I mean, your fans put you where you are. I mean, we played all the big stages around the world like other bands, and it's just through people loving our music, going out and buying everything, and you can't get better than that, really. So we have our fans to thank for everything, really, and we try and do the show for them, and consider people's requests, and people ask us, you haven't done that song in so long, and we go, okay, and if enough people say it, then we'll go and rehearse it, and okay, let's do it. So a lot of the ideas for the show come from the fans, which is good.
There's been a bit of a renaissance with Magnum over the last few years. I mean, I can remember, Bob, early in the early 1990s, you were, unfortunately, you had to play some of the smaller clubs up and down the country. And, of course, 10 years prior to that, there was the Reading Festival, and that's the famous story that you thought things were going pear-shaped there, didn't you, in 1983?
Yeah, that was the second time we played Reading Festival.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it wasn't going too great. It was kind of, Kex left the band after that, and that's where he finished with us, and we got a new drummer called Jim Simpson. We had a management come and start handling us, and we recorded Storyteller's Night and started again, really.
Yeah.
To a new audience.
Like a rebirth, really.
Yeah.
So, if more recently then, back in the early 90s, or maybe towards the middle of the 1990s, I mean, did you have faith that things would take an upturn for the band? I mean, was there ever a time you thought, that's it, that's the end, completely?
Yeah, 95.
Really?
95 was the big breakup, yeah.
Oh, yeah, but, I mean, did you think, that was it, nothing would come of Magnum again type of thing?
Yeah, I mean, it just stopped happening for Tony and me. We went on to form Hard Rain, and that was the end of Magnum as far as we were concerned. We're doing Hard Rain now. But then I started doing my solo stuff with Gary Hughes from 10, and I did 3 albums with him. But during that period, Tony called me up and said, do you want to do Magnum again? I went, you bet. Of course I do, you idiot. I thought you didn't want to do it again. I said, oh, well, I'll change my mind. So, Tony was writing this material for solo artists and other people, but he recovered from not wanting to write any more Magnum material. He had 5 years off, and it did him the world of good, and he's back bigger than ever now.
Yeah.
And the songs are coming back now better than ever.
Yeah, it's probably a natural thing, that, isn't it? And I suppose coupled with the fact that maybe the climate wasn't as good for classic rock music that you were playing, really.
In the 90s, there wasn't a lot happening for bands like us, and it just got very hard to keep it going, I think Tony just wanted to try something else, and I went with him, and we did the Hard Rain thing. We did 2 albums, which were excellent albums.
That's right. I mean, to many people, they were Magnum in all but name, but I mean, It was an interesting experiment. I mean, what happened with Hard Rain? Did you just think, well, it's not really the way you wanted to go with things?
Hard Rain was going fine. Again, we were searching for a new audience, and we had the remnants of the Magnum fan base stick with Hard Rain, although it wasn't really Magnum. Although me and Tony were from Magnum, and my voice and his songs, you're going to get the Magnum feel anyway. But we were searching for a new audience, which didn't really happen at the time. But also, at the same time, like I say, I started doing solo stuff, working with other people. And I couldn't commit to Hard Rain any longer, so I had to split from the band to pursue the solo stuff I was doing. I was, really more into that music, the AOR kind of stuff that Gary was coming up with for me. So that's my fault that Hard Rain stopped playing anymore. And Tony, just when I left, he lost interest in Hard Rain. I thought he'd keep it going, but he lost interest, and that he folded the band. And there you go. And I carried on making. I've done 6 solo albums now. That's
right. I mean, which of your solo albums would you commend to new listeners who haven't heard any of your solo work? Is there any one particular one, Bob, which you would recommend to people as a fair representation of what you do and what you're about?
Empire's Burn, fourth one?
Yes, that came out in 2003, didn't it?
Right,
yeah.
I think that's very good. That was produced by Paul Hodgson, who was the keyboard player with Hard Rain.
Yes.
I think that would be the one. I mean, I've done 6. Sorry, 1, 2.
You have done 6, I think, if you count. You've done a live album, haven't you, as well?
Track, you see. I did something called The Tower.
Yeah.
The Tower's a good one. Then I did Legends. That's great.
Middle-earth.
Also one about Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
Middle-earth. That was the third one. Then Paul Hodgson produced me an album called When Empires Burn. Then I did one called The Spirit of Man. Mm-hmm. Spirit of Man's good. I mean, that's. I would recommend people to listen to that as well.
That's your most recent, isn't it?
Yeah,
Came out.
Most recent. Oh yeah, this new one is number 6. Sorry.
I've only done 4. Well, actually, no. You have done one more. You've done a live album.
Oh, I don't count that.
You don't count those.
That was put out.
Bit of a stopgap.
Yeah, that came out a bit too soon for me. It came out after the first one, The Tower.
Yeah.
I done one album, and then Now and Then Records, Mark Ashley, in his wisdom, said, I want you to do a live album. Oh, okay, fine. So that's okay. It was alright. It wasn't. It was recorded. It was good live album. It went. There was a good crowd on the night. It was recorded at the Maxims in Wigan. Yeah, which used to, as part of the Gods, there used to be something called the Gods every year. Right. In Maxims in Wigan, and it came out pretty good. I thought, I'm glad they did it, but I just thought it was a bit too soon. I'd like to get another one under my belt before I did a live one. But there you go.
Yes. I
just had to go with the label's wishes, really.
Maybe that's another project, Bob, another live album which reflects, the solo albums you've done since then, really.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, there's a best of or a live one in mind.